The Aquaris X5 by the Spanish manufacturer BQ brings your Cyanogen OS out of the box. So you don't have to do anything like flashing, routing, whatever. And for everybody of you who doesn't know anything about Cyanogen, I will explain a little bit later, but so much for the beginning. It's kind of a US based upon Android 5.1. In that case, here you have all your apps and the typical settings, navigation, and notification center, and everything like you know from the operating system itself, but with some additional features. For example, like this one, just to get a first quick impression of Cyanogen, that app launcher. I really love that because especially for guys who used to search their apps or have a lots of apps, that's giving you a very good overview over all your apps, quick navigation and everything. I really love that one, but more for Cyanogen a little bit later. Let's start with the hardware, and I will come to the battery runtime tests in this video, but let's start with the display. It's 239 euros, at least here in Germany, Europe, including tax, without any contract, and for that price you get a 5-inch display, 4.98 inch to be precise, 127 millimeters, and it's IPS dual domain, meaning you have a high viewing angle stability, good quality. All right, it's not the brightest one. We'll see here the Cyanogen browser, very sleek, very quick, and you see here 384 nits. It's okay, it's not extremely bright, it's 18% below the average, but for that price, again, it's really okay, because on the other hand, you get a really good camera. It's a Sony sensor. You have a f2.0, so gathering a lot of light, and especially 13 megapixels. So for that price, you get 45% more resolution from the camera than usual for your money, and 2 white LEDs on the back side. And look at that, on the front here you have a front LED flash, photos with 5 megapixels and videos on both sides with Full HD 1080p. So this is really a big advantage, and especially for that money, really good. On the other hand, of course, it's plastic backside here, but the frame is metal, making it very solid. So if I'm trying to wind here, you do not hear anything that's making any sounds, and especially you do not see any white or black dots where the front glass is pressing down on the panel and maybe during the time hurting any pixels. So quality, stability is good. You have to like the look, okay, because that little step here, that's by design. You have to like it. For me, it's okay because of that metal frame and because this is giving the fingers a good grip. The feeling is really okay, especially for that money, in my opinion at least. It's good quality, and you have just 71 millimeters from the width because of that 5-inch, so you can use it just with one hand for nowadays relatively okay, I'd say. And especially you get 4G Wi-Fi without 5 gigahertz, all right, Bluetooth just for 0, no NFC, but for in most cases I'd say you can live with that. And of course it's not the most powerful Snapdragon processor, it's just a 412, meaning we have focus only, 1.5 gigahertz, and it's just Cortex A43, so meaning not these powerful A57 cores, but nevertheless it's kind of okay, I guess, especially because we have 2 GB of RAM, so we have to wait for the benchmarks, of course, but I guess it's of course below the average, but for regular users, not heavy users, regular users, it will be quite okay, I guess. You have one more surprise over here on that side. This is a typical micro SD slot, officially 32 gigabytes supported, but you know, in most cases, without any guarantee, bigger cards should be compatible too. And on that side, you have, 2 nano SIMs, so dual SIM functionality if you want to, and especially not that combination slot, so that you have the choice between if you want to push up or expand your memory or dual SIM, you have both in that here. Internal memory is 16 GB, leaving net 10.4 GB. That's the value you should calculate with, 10.4 GB internal memory expandable. Coming to the battery, of course, as you see here, it's fixed, it's built in, you cannot remove it by yourself, but it has 2,900 milliamps, that's kind of okay. And with the runtime test, I do a video playback at 200 candela in flight mode, and with that it did 596 minutes. That's 27% above the average. So battery runtime is really, really great. So even if you're talking a lot or using your phone a lot, this should bring you through the day. Yeah, and with that, let's come to some of the highlight features of Cyanogen. First of all is tap to wake. You have to activate that first, but as you see here, it's working. Double tap to wake up your phone. I really love that. Browser I've shown you. And the caller app is interesting because this is a Truecaller, as you see here. I activated that, and Truecaller is kind of, you have access to a big, huge database globally. They have 1.3 billion entries, so meaning if a number calls you do not have in your contacts and there is some information in the database, you will get you will see that information while it's ringing. And for example, if you see, all right, 600 people did mark that number as spam, you can block it right away and block it forever since then, or block others, or block numbers without any caller identification, whatever. So a really, really mighty tool. And something else I really appreciate is you might know that from Android 6, but not in that full features here, because it's, let me see, it's the privacy guard. And we will find that here in security, exactly. No. That's interesting because normally I use the German user interface. Privacy, here we are, my God. Privacy guard, that's what I wanted to show you. First of all, you can choose if all apps you will install later by default activated, or you see all your already installed apps here, like for example the Chrome browser. And if you want to activate privacy guard for this one, you can activate it by clicking here left on the left side, or let's activate here on the right side on that icon, and then you can choose what kind of task shall, for example, if Chrome browser wants to use your location, if it's allowed always, ignored always, or if he shall ask if he now can use your location. And that's for everything the app can do. As you see here, you can change it always for every single app, whatever you want to, whenever you want to. And in that size, it's in that full features, it's not included all in Android 6, but some basic features of that are included. So if you, and I guess Android 6 will come one day to this device too, then it's kind of double, but that can really, really take some month. And the other thing I wanted to show is protected apps. Here we have to go in the apps, and it's a little bit tricky to find because you have to tap that icon first and then here protected apps. Once you defined a pattern, you can go to this, and again, you see all your installed apps. And let me show you first, for example, let's go here, that GFX bench. Okay, that's a good example, GFX bench. You have seen the icon here. Go back to protected apps. And where do we have that GFX bench? Okay, if I'm now marking this app here as protected, and go back, you will see that that icon is gone. And you won't have it in the app launcher, but you still have it if you used it first here in the task manager. This one should be removed. Then you're really secure, so no one sees that this app is installed on your device unless you go back to the settings here and to the protected apps. Then use a pattern, and if you go back here, you might have already seen that new icon on the right. This is, if you click here, you enter the app and you can use it just the way you want it. But let me go now back and show this one again so that I'm not forgetting that I have faded it out here like this. Here we are. But nevertheless, afterwards, you do not have that shortcut here on the home page, of course. So you have to go back if you want to have the icon on the home page again, drag and drop. Like I told you, it's Android OS 5.1.1 in that case. So you will immediately use your phone like you know it, but you have all these additional features from Cyanogen. I just could show some of the highlights to make that video not even longer than it is already. Well, I hope I could help you and give you a little first impression of that BQ Aquaris X5. 239 euros here in Germany, Europe, including tax, without any contract. Thanks for watching, take care, and bye.